Greetings, my fellow light workers. I am here with another video for you guys. Today I want to go into Nibiru. So today's focus is on Nibiru, Planet X, second sun, whatever you want to call this, planet or object or second sun that is appearing all over the world. Okay, I wanted to touch bases on some of the things that are written in the Bible and some things that are written in the Cobran Bible. I want to present to you guys how some of these things are aligning with, the Cobran Bible. I want you guys to understand that there is a lot of knowledge out there and we must read and research and understand these things. So I'm going to be discussing some things that I written on a post of mine that I written back in 2015. It was September the 26th 2015 when I actually wrote this post, and I want to go over some things that I actually wrote down about Nibiru. Now, in my belief, I believe, and you don't have to believe this, okay? I believe that Nibiru is the sign of the Son of Man, okay? That's what I believe. You don't have to believe that, okay? I only believe that because of my experiences alone, the things that I have experienced and the things that the Creator has shown me. That's why I've come to the conclusion that Nibiru is the sign of the Son of Man, okay? And I believe that this is the sign, and I keep mentioning this all the time in all my videos and in all my posts, because the day that I surrendered my life to the Most High in 2012, I was led to this heavenly body the same exact day, and I have had many dreams and visions of this since then. I experienced fear at the time regarding, this, planet, because I didn't have my life together at that time. So I was very fearful, and I was like, oh my God, the world is going to come to an end. I didn't want to die. And, I was just experiencing all of this fear that was coming from this object. So it's like fear and Nibiru goes hand in hand. Fear and destruction, all of that is tied to this Nibiru. And that's the feeling that, humans get when this planet come around. It's like these energies that comes from this planet, because somehow it's in our collective consciousness that Nibiru has something to do with the destruction of humanity. It has something to do with something, okay? So I'm going to get into some, scriptures and some things, and also in the Cobran Bible as well. I also believe that it is a sign of our deliverance, okay? It is a sign, also for, the destruction for the wicked, okay? People don't believe that Yahshua actually, lived on this planet. A lot of people say, oh, it's not real. It's all symbolic. He wasn't an actual person that lived. And that's their belief, but I believe that Yahshua actually did descend from heaven, and he came down and took on a human body, okay? Anyway, so many people have seen, Nibiru in the skies, and when we try to tell people, look, it's in the skies, we show them videos, pictures, people are like, oh no, it's not there, it's not there. They still deny its existence. Even a lot of people, from NASA and, a lot of people know that this exists, but they're still lying to the public about it, okay? Anyway, but when this day arrives, you guys, it's going to be a dark and terrible day, on the day of the Lord. In the Bible, it always talks about the day of the Lord, being a day full of darkness. It's a dark and terrible day. Amos 5:20 states, shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark, and no brightness in it? Okay. Now, darkness is coming over the earth, just like there was darkness from the 6th hour to the 9th hour when Yahshua was on the cross, or he was hanged on the tree. Okay. Now, my thing is how, what could have eclipsed the sun for 3 hours? Okay. Normal eclipse happen and it ranges from what, maybe like a couple of minutes or so. It don't last very long. But at this particular event, when Yahshua was, on the cross, okay, for 3 hours, there was darkness over the earth. Okay. Now I want y'all to just go along with me here and just open up your minds and just see where I'm going with this thing here. Okay. Use your own mind and think for yourselves. Okay. Now, this object, I believe has the ability to transform itself. It has the ability to appear and disappear. Okay. So we're dealing with something that is more like, like, I don't know. If it is a battleship, it can cloak itself. Okay. So it can be seen and not seen. So that's why people see it and don't see it. We dealing with some higher powers right now. You guys don't know anything. Okay. We don't all know everything that's in the heavens right now. Now, the Most High and all of his hosts in heaven, are not bound by time. Okay. And that's why in the Bible, it states that Yahshua can come like a thief in the night. He could come at any time, you guys, okay? Revelation 16:15 says, "Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame." Okay? Now, if you believe in the word, you know that Yahshua will be coming in the clouds of heaven. Matthew 24:29 through 31 states, "Immediately after the anguish of those days, the sun will be darkened, the moon will give no light, the stars will fall from the sky, and the powers in the heavens will be shaken. And then at last, the sign that the Son of Man is coming will appear in the heavens, and there will be deep mourning among all the peoples of the earth. And they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send out his angels with a mighty blast of a trumpet, and they will gather his chosen ones from all over the world, from the farthest ends of the earth and heaven." Okay? In the Bible, it states this earth will be destroyed by fire. The earth will shake and the heavens will shake in his presence. Okay. Isaiah 24 verse 19 through 21 states,
"The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage. And the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it. And it shall fall and not rise again. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth."
Okay. And we got 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 10 through 13.
"But the day of the Lord will come as unexpectedly as a thief. Then the heavens will pass away with a terrible noise, and the very elements themselves will disappear in fire, and the earth and everything on it will be found to deserve judgment. Since everything around us is going to be destroyed like this, what holy and godly lives you should live, looking forward to the day of God and hurrying it along. On that day, he will set the heavens on fire, and the elements will melt away in the flames. But we are looking forward to the new heavens and new earth he has promised, a world filled with God's righteousness."
Yes, most definitely. We are looking forward to the new heaven and the new earth, you guys. Do not be, bound to this earth, because things are going to be changing on this earth, and you are not going to be able to take all this material stuff with you, okay? We are going into a new earth and a new heaven, and that's what I want you guys to look forward to and to be happy about. And I know that we are going to be discussing a lot of things about death and destruction today, but these are the things that has been prophesied in the Bible, and it is going to happen. And I just wanted to go over some of these things with you. The governments have, prepared themselves, and they are actually preparing for the day of the Lord. They have built underground bunkers because they actually think that they can hide and get away from, this wrath or this judgment that is actually coming on the earth.
Yeah. I know there's been a lot of military stuff being hauled around lately, that's for sure, huh?
Yeah, we deliver to military.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I heard there's water supply, food supply, everything's in there. Yeah, unbelievable.
But you don't get no cell phone service.
No. Peace, brother. I mean, basically, you got an underground roadway system here that runs all the way to Maine, to Washington, D.C., to Colorado. It's fully stocked. It runs completely underground. And you can see they've been hauling tons of military equipment. They're stocking all these bases. Now, the other thing is the railroad system here is also very strategic. They're bringing in boxcar loads and they're dump shipping here, and they can really deliver to all these locations, which these locations go all the way to Area 51. These locations go all the way to Washington, D.C. There's access underneath the White House to this location, okay? So this is a strategic location, which is really the new command center for the Illuminati and the United States government. Well, forget the United States government. This is a headquarters for the Illuminati. This is where they'll ship most of their supplies. When they go underground, they can stay underground for quite some time. And this is stocked with food, water, everything they need. It's an underground city. So this is the north entrance, and we're going to go see if we can do some more digging.
Revelation chapter 6 verse 12 through 7 states,
And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And then heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every freeman, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath has come, and who shall be able to stand?
Yes. So, they know who is coming, and they know, they know pretty much what's going to happen in these end times, you guys. They are very aware of what the scripture says. They could see what's coming. They have technology and all kinds of things to see what's coming, you guys, and they don't want to let you guys know, okay? So I just feel like right now, with everything that's going on in the world, they're trying to distract, the children of Israel, okay? The whole world, right now, I feel is just being distracted, okay? And we all need to pretty much look up in the sky, and we really need to see what's going on and what's happening around us, okay? It's time to wake up, okay? Because our deliverance is coming, okay? Now, I'm just throwing this out there. Nibiru could possibly be a chariot, okay? It could represent that battleship. It could represent the mothership, okay? And it also can be called, that Mount Zion, or, the portable tabernacle, okay, that travels the heavens. That's why I kind of call it. That's kind of how I see it, as a portable tabernacle that travels the heavens. He showed us many times in the Old Testament how he traveled in the universe. That's one of the reasons why the Most High had Moses make the portable tabernacle. Okay, it was movable, just like God's throne in heaven can be movable. Okay, so he used a chariot to move around. So this planet, the creator can use whatever he chose. Okay, now when comets come and pass by, comets are also signs too for us to look forward to in the skies as well. Everything that the creator created has an orbit, and all come forth at his commands. Okay, so he can use whatever he chose to use for any type of destruction. Okay, all heavenly bodies have a different glory, and that goes for the sun, the moon, and the stars. Okay, we got 1 Corinthians 15 verse 40 through 41 states,
There are also bodies in the heavens and bodies on the earth. The glory of the heavenly bodies is different from the glory of the earthly bodies. The sun has one kind of glory, while the moon and the stars each have another kind. And even the stars differ from each other in their glory.
Okay, so we see, all of the, heavenly bodies all have different glories. Okay, the sun has a different kind of glory. The moon has a different kind of glory, and all the stars as well as, have a different glory too. So Nibiru has his glory as well. So we don't know. This could be him. This could be him coming in this type of glory. We don't know, you guys. We have to be open-minded. We really have to look at things a little differently now. Okay. Now, if Yahshua is coming, with the glory of his Father, what does that tell you? Okay, there's going to be a great light that's coming from heaven. Okay, so we already know it's going to be something that's going to be really, really bright in the sky. It's going to be a bright star that's going to represent his coming. That represents glory, like this light. So it's going to be something really bright that's going to happen, and that's going to be seen in the heavens. Okay, that's going to represent his return. Just like the star of Bethlehem was a sign in heaven, it also represented Yahshua's coming when he was born. Okay, the star of Bethlehem could have been a chariot for all we know. Why do I say this? Okay, because the angels came down from this star in heaven. Okay, let's see when the angel appeared. So we're going to go to Luke chapter 2, verse 8 through 20.
That night, there were shepherds staying in the fields nearby, guarding their flocks of sheep. Suddenly the angel of the Lord appeared among them, and a radiance of the Lord's glory surrounded them. They were terrified, but the angel reassured them. Don't be afraid, he said. I bring you good news that will bring great joy to all people. The Savior, yes, the Messiah, the Lord has been born today in Bethlehem, the city of David. And you will recognize him by the sign. You will find a baby wrapped snugly in strips of cloth, lying in a manger. Suddenly the angels were joined by a vast host of others, the armies of heaven, praising God and saying, Glory to God in highest heaven, and peace on earth to those with him whom God is pleased. When the angels had returned to heaven, the shepherds said to each other, Let's go to Bethlehem. Let's see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has told us about. They hurried to the village and found Mary and Joseph, and there was the baby lying in the manger. After seeing him, the shepherds told everyone what had happened and what the angel had said to them about this child. And who heard the shepherd's story were astonished. But Mary kept all these things in her heart and thought about them often. The shepherds went back to their flocks, glorifying and praising God for all they heard and seen. It was just as the angels had told them.
So we got angels involved here. The angels came down and was, showing them these things, and then they returned back, to heaven Well, to me, it would seem like they was on some type of chariot. They came down, talked to the people, told them what was about to happen. Then they returned back on their ship and went to go witness everything that was happening. That just makes sense to me. That's how I'm able to comprehend this. Okay, I'm not. This is just how I'm putting this together. Okay, so I just feel like that once again the angels went back to heaven and they joined the other angels after they went to give the message to the shepherds. That means they could have returned to this starship or chariot that was seen in the sky, So I believe when Yahshua returns, there will be chariots also seen in the sky that will represent his return. Okay. Now, do you remember the pillar of cloud and fire that went before the children of Israel? Do y'all remember that? When it moved, okay, they moved, okay, when it stopped. So, think about the wise man, okay? Matthew chapter 2, verse 9 through 10 states,
When they had heard the king, they departed. And lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceedingly great joy.
Okay, so the angels were rejoicing in the chariot. That's what I believe, okay? Y'all don't have to believe what I believe. I'm just telling you my perspective on the scriptures. No need to go back and debate with one another. This is just what I believe. You can believe something totally different, okay? So the wise men were led by the star or chariot to Yahshua, okay? And the shepherds were led to Yahshua by the angels. I believe it's just all connected to this star that was seen in the heavens, okay? Just sharing, my own knowledge and just trying to get you all, to think about this in a different way, okay? So just allow, wisdom to just speak to you right now, okay? Now, I'm going to just take it back to, the book of Exodus, when we were seeing this pillar of cloud, by day and this pillar of fire by night. I believe it was a chariot in the sky that was actually guiding the children of Israel at that time. Okay. Now, Exodus 13, verse 21 through 22 states,
And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light to go by day and night. He took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people. Exodus 14:19 states, And the angel of God, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them. And the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them. Exodus chapter 33 verse 9 states, And it came to pass, as Moses entered into the tabernacle, the cloudy pillar descended and stood at the door of the tabernacle. And the Lord talked with Moses. This shows you who comes out of the pillar of cloud, pillar of fire. The Lord comes out of it just like the angels. Exodus chapter 40 verse 38 states, For the cloud of the Lord was upon the tabernacle by day, and fire was on it by night, in the sight of all the house of Israel throughout all their journeys. Deuteronomy 31:15 states, And the Lord appeared in the tabernacle in a pillar of a cloud, and the pillar of the cloud stood over the door of the tabernacle. Numbers chapter 12 verse 5 states, And the Lord came down in the pillar of the cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle, and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. Isaiah chapter 4 verse 5 states, And the Lord will create upon every dwelling place of Mount Zion, and upon her assemblies, a cloud and smoke by day, and the shining of a flaming fire by night. For upon all the glory shall be a defense. Revelation chapter 12 verse 1 states, And I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was upon his head, and his face was as it were the sun, and his feet as pillars of fire.
Okay, so I just wanted to provide all of those scriptures there to show you about, this cloud, this pillar of cloud and a pillar, of fire that was seen, in the sky that was actually guiding the children of Israel, back in the ancient days. And I believe that they, had the chariots that were there with them. Okay, so that's why I believe the chariots has something to do with all of this, because it shows where we had, beings that were watching over us and that was protecting us back in those ancient times. Okay, so we have ancestors, we have other, beings that are out there who are our people, who look after us. Okay. And I just want to bring this up now. When we talk about the Elohim, this is what we're talking about, you guys. The Elohim, there were, multiple angels. Okay, these were angelic beings, male and female. Okay, so I don't want to leave the female out. Okay, because the scriptures always talk about men all the time, but we women, you got to know we are angels too. So the Elohim, it does represent beings. Now, I do want to tell you guys with the Elohim, okay, there are good Elohim and there are also bad Elohim. Okay, you got Elohim beings that, once again, positive and negative, So we got to keep that in mind when you do read the scriptures. Our people were influenced by good angels and they were influenced by bad angels as well. Anytime you see anything that deals with war, come on, y'all. Anything that's dealing with war and death and killing and all of that stuff like that, come on. You cannot be influenced by a being full of love and light. Okay, that's just common sense. If you guys cannot pick that up right now, then you are being led by the wrong Elohim. You are being led by the false God. Okay, and that's what I want to let you guys know. There are good Elohim and there are bad Elohim. There's positive and negative beings in the universe, and they do influence mankind. And with our people, we have had beings who have influenced us, both bad and good. Okay, so you guys need to pick up on the spirit. You need to discern who is who. Okay, now let's see here. Also, I want to go over a couple of things that talks more about the chariots as well. Okay, I'm gonna go into Ezekiel, because Ezekiel, describes, the chariots as well. So I'm going to have Brother Whitfield read this. And we are working as a team. Yes, male and female. We are working as a team. We're doing it together. We don't have time for all that women can't teach. I'm sorry, you guys. I've been sitting here by the Creator himself. So if I'm sitting up here giving you this word, I'm sharing my wisdom with you all. Women needs to stand up in this time. I've had dreams where, the women were anointed by the Creator. I had this dream where we were anointed, and I, in the dream, was like a leader, and I went out to all of the women and was telling the women that we need to stick together. And it was like we raised up, like all the women, like the Hebrew women, we raised up and we was, doing what we were supposed to do on this earth, because we have a lot of insight and wisdom inside of us. And the Most High is also speaking to the women as well. And I don't want, my people, the women, to hide behind these men and don't want to speak out because they're trying to tell you not to speak. No, you need to speak, okay? If the Most High is giving you something, you need to say something. If you have a message to give to the people, you don't have to get permission from nobody. You seek the Creator first and let Him guide you, let Him lead you, and let Him tell you what to do, okay? So that's just something that I just want to put out there, because there's a lot of people that are, don't want to say anything and they're scared to talk because some brothers are not allowing the women to speak or to say something. Well, I've been shown differently. For my dreams and my visions, I've been chosen. So, I'm going to do what the Creator told me to do. Okay? And we must respect one another, you guys. I'm telling you, we must love one another. We have to come together, in love, in unity. In order for us to be who we are supposed to be on this earth, we need to come together as one. We need to unite in love. Okay? I love you all, my brothers and my sisters. I love you all, but we must change. We must change. We must allow the Holy Spirit to do the work on us. We must transform. We must renew our thoughts, okay? You change your thoughts, you change the world, people.
That's right.
Okay? So I want y'all to stand up. I want you guys to believe in yourselves. You are so powerful, and you don't even know it. Many people fear you. They fear us. We have a lot of knowledge hidden within, and we need to restore all of what we know. We need to restore the kingdom. We need to restore everything that we once knew. Okay? I love you. And I'm sorry, but I have to just keep saying that. I love you all. The Creator loves you. The Creator wants you to, awaken. Come out of this deep sleep. Don't be focusing on, black against white and color and racism and all this crap. You have to raise your consciousness. Okay? Raise your consciousness. Stop focusing on all of this. And Yahshua came to set us free from bondage. Okay? We no longer do the old things that we used to do, people. There's no need for all that other stuff, man. We're supposed to be going forward in higher consciousness stuff. Okay? We need to move forward. Move forward. We need to go beyond. Okay, we need to enter into higher dimensions. The Creator wants to take you all far into your journey. But you guys are so, stuck to the earth. You're bonded here. You've been stuck here for so long. Wake up. Wake up. Please wake up. I need you all to wake up, okay? Because when I was awakened, the Holy Spirit descended upon me, and the Holy Spirit spoke through me, and I had no control, you guys. I'm telling you, I had no control over this power that came over me. And I specifically said that the 144,000, from the 12 tribes of Israel were awakening, okay? We are rising up. But many people who think they are the 144,000, no. You're not. If you are not operating in love, you are not part of the 144,000. I am telling you this right now. If you thinking that you part of this 144 and you out here preaching hate, talking about the black woman, putting us down, talking about the white man, and talk about Esau, and talk about the white man is the devil, and you going on with this type of teaching, and you're spreading this negative energy out amongst our people and leading them astray, you are not part of the 144,000. I'm so sorry to tell you guys that, but love is required for this mission. You have to be operating in love. If you do not know what love is, then you need to seek the Creator right now. You need to stop everything that you are doing, and you need to seek the Creator, and you need to find out what love is. Okay? Find out what love is, You really need to understand this, You have to be operating in the fruits of the Spirit. Go to Galatians. You need to figure it out. Love is not hate. Okay? That's the opposite. Love the Creator with all your heart and your mind and your soul. Okay? And you must love your neighbors. Meaning you must love your brothers and sisters. Okay? As you love yourself. Treat people how you want to be treated, people. That is the 2 greatest commandments. That sums up the 10 commandments, people. That sums it up. When you look at it, that's what it's telling you, Show love to one another. Just how you would want people to treat you, you do the same for other people. If you don't want nobody to disrespect you, then you don't need to disrespect nobody else. If you don't want nobody to talk down on you, then don't talk down on somebody else. If you don't want nobody coming in your house stealing stuff, then don't go and steal nobody else's stuff. It's just as simple as that, people. Stop this. Ain't no need to be going out killing nobody for what? What are you accomplishing? You let anger stir up inside of you. That ain't of the Most High. That's of the false God. Okay? That's one of the false deities. That's one of the bad Elohim that you being inspired by. You don't go out and kill nobody. Now, I know I'm going off topic, but, you know, when the Holy Spirit comes, I'm going to say what I have to say, because apparently my people need to hear this. I really need you guys to unite in love. If you don't know what love is, you need to figure it out now. Figure it out. Love is not all of this stuff that, you know, our people is doing to one another. We supposed to be kind to one another. Just because, you know, your brothers and sisters don't believe what you believe, you can respect them. You ain't got to make them feel bad, okay? You can tell people the truth, okay, with love. You don't have to be mean to them, you know. You don't have to be just like coming at them, and you don't have to be cursing at them. This is just crazy. You're not better than nobody else, you know. Everyone on this planet has, you know, sinned. Everyone on this planet has messed up. Okay? Don't judge other people. You need to judge yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror. Evaluate your own life. Stop trying to focus on what everybody else is doing in the world. Focus on you. You sit down one day and you meditate on your own life and say, you know what? Father, reveal to me everything about myself. What is it that I need to improve in my own life? Love yourself first. Once you able to love yourself, then you'll be able to love others. And that's what a lot of people is missing in these times. These people don't love themselves. That's why they acting like that towards other people. Love yourself first. Look at yourself first. Work on you. And then once you love yourself and then you accept you for you, then you will be able to see other people in a different light. Because you'll be like, you know what? Oh my God, I'm no different from them. Like I was there at one point, you know. I was ignorant at one point. I didn't know or I didn't understand. So let me come to them in love. Let me come to them with love in my heart. Let me guide them. Let me show them the way. You know, show them the way to the Creator, you know. But do it in love, people. You also got to be patient with people. You know, when you tell people something, they're not going to get it automatically. Don't get mad or upset. Just say, you know, in God's timing, they will understand. And leave it at that. Pray for them, you know. If you can't be around certain people because they got too much negative energy, then just kindly step away. That's all you got to do. You ain't got to be mean to them. Just be like, you know, I'm going to just go on my path and you go on your path. Maybe one day we could connect back to each other. But let me focus on me right now. Let me get myself together. Do that. I'm telling you, I had to learn all of this myself. That's why I'm telling you this. I had to, you know, stay away from certain people. I had to do it for myself, you know. So we're going to get back into these scriptures now. I know I went off and I just, you know, like I said, when the Holy Spirit descends on me, I got to say what I got to say, y'all. I got to say what I got to say, okay? Now, Brother Whitfield, why you...
Because I promise y'all, it's like this all the time. It's a beautiful thing. Don't get me wrong. When the Spirit comes on, she comes on.
I'm sorry. I just gotta say what I gotta
say.
say.
She does it. She'll go and she'll tell you this, and then she'll be like, "All right, I'm gonna get back to what I was saying." We just pick up where we left off.
We just pick up where we left off. I just had to say what I had to say, you guys. I love you all, and I just want y'all to know.
It really is.
Like, I don't want my people destroyed at all. And I've seen, have these visions, and I just don't want my people to be destroyed, man. It hurts me, it kills me, and it saddens me, because every time it's like, every time I get on Facebook, I scroll down my feed, I'm always seeing like people saying like rest in peace, and it's like people getting shot, people getting killed, and it's like, this is crazy. Like, what is going on? It just seemed like so much evil is going on in our communities, and this needs to stop. It needs to stop, you guys. If people had love in their hearts and in their minds, it wouldn't be like this right now. So, we need to change ourselves. If you don't like the life that you are living, you can change it, okay? You can change if you desire to change. Nobody can force you to change. Trust me, if you surrender and you say, you know what, I'm finna give it all up. I don't want to do this no more. I'm tired of living like this. I'm tired of being like this. I just want to be free from all of this. Trust me, when your heart is pure and you're in the right space, the Creator is going to make a way for you, okay? He will make a way for you. You will not be stuck in the situation that you are in. He will make a way for you. But you have to take that first step first, and you have to step out in faith, okay? You have to do this yourself. I'm telling you this because I did this myself. I felt like I was stuck for many, many years. And then I was like, as soon as he opened up the door, it was an opportunity for me to be free. I took it and I left. I did what I had to do, you guys. Okay, now let me get back because I'll be talking all day about that. So we're going to get back to Ezekiel. We're going to talk about some of the chariots and stuff, and we're going to get into this Nibiru stuff. Okay, Brother Whitfield, can you go ahead and read that?
Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 4 through 28. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man, and every one had 4 faces, and every one had 4 wings. And their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot. And they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. And they had the hands of a man under their wings on their 4 sides. And they 4 had their faces and their wings. Their wings were joined one to another. They turned not when they went. They went every one straight forward. As for the likeness of their faces, they 4 had the face of a man and the face of a lion on the right side, and they 4 had the face of an ox on the left side, and they 4 also had the face of an eagle. Thus were their faces, and their wings were stretched upward. 2 wings of every one were joined one to another, and 2 covered their bodies, and they went every one straight forward whither the Spirit was to go. They went, and they turned not when they went. As for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was like burning coals of fire, and like the appearance of lamps, it went up and down among the living creatures. And the fire was bright, and out of the fire went forth lightning. And the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flashing lightning. Now as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures with 4 faces. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a beryl. And they 4 had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. When they went upon their 4 sides, and they turned not when they went. As for the rings, they were so high that they were dreadful. And their rings were full of eyes round about them 4. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. Whithersoever the Spirit was to go, they went. Thither was their spirit to go. And the wheels were lifted up over against them, for the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. When those went, these went. And when those stood, these stood. And when those were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. And the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creature was as the color of the terrible crystal stretched forth over their heads above. And under the firmament were the wings straight, the one toward the other. Everyone had two, which covered on this side, and everyone had two, which covered on that side, their bodies. And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings, like the noise of great waters, as the voice of the Almighty, the voice of speech, as the noise of an host. When they stood, they let down their wings. And there was a voice from the firmament that went over their heads. When they stood and had let down their wings, and above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone, and upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man above upon it. And I saw the color of amber, as the appearance of fire round about within, in it. From then the appearance of his loins even upward, and from the appearance of his loins even downward. I saw as it were the appearance of fire, and it had brightness round about. And as the appearance of the bow that is in the cloud in the day of rain, so was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. And when I saw it, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice of one that spake.
Okay, so yes, that was pretty long, but yeah, that was in Ezekiel. Maybe I should have just referred you guys to it, because that was like, it seemed like we was doing that for about 20 minutes. I'm just playing, but that that was a long time. Okay, so basically, with that, this is just showing you the chariots and stuff. Now, most people refer this to like even like the Ophanum wheels and things like that. Now, I was actually caught up on one of these wheels, okay? It was an amazing experience, and this is when I first actually met with Yahshua. I was called to the throne, you guys. It was amazing. Let me see if I can remember just by memory to let you guys know what kind of happened just from my memory right now. It's one day I was getting off of work, and it was around maybe about like 6 p.m. And I was just walking on a little sidewalk, and then I looked in the sky, and it was like really cloudy. It was like dark clouds. Kind of looked like a storm was about to come. So then all of a sudden, instantly, I was caught up on this chariot. As I was ascending up, I saw like these wheels within a wheel, and it was amazing. It was like, what? And I'm telling you, it was not like physical in nature at all, you guys. It was not physical at all. It was like something, it was like an invisible wheels or something. It was like energy forming, but I could see the wheels as it was forming, and I was in the middle of the wheel. I was in the middle of the wheel, and it was kind of like I'm going up like a vortex or something, okay, like a spiral. So I'm going up these wheels, and I'm going up within this spiral, and it's like portal type thing. And I'm going up, and then all of a sudden I was like inside of this room. Okay, it's like everything changed, and it was like I was in this room, and it was full of a whole bunch of people, and we was bowing down before a throne. Okay, we was bowing down, and I actually went in there, and I saw myself like I was like on my knees, and I was bowing down, and then I looked up, and then what? It was like, to me, it was like that was Yahshua on the throne. Okay. It was like, in a sense, it was like the Father called me to the throne, but it was like Yahshua at the same time. So it was like, he pointed at me and he told me to come here. So I ended up standing up. And when I, got up and I went towards, him, I like ran towards him. It was like I knew him, y'all. I'm telling y'all, it's like I knew him, like, like we was being reunited together or something. And I ran to him and I saw him, and it's like I gave him a hug, and I was so happy to see him. Okay, it was like I was so happy to return back home, or like return back to the throne. So then when I sat down with him. I sat down right next to him, and he was talking to me, and we was having a conversation. Please don't ask me what we talked about, because I do not remember the entire conversation, but we were talking on the throne. And then he led me. There was more stuff that happened, but I don't want to get into that because it's going to be too long. Okay. But there was a chamber that was there, and I call it the chamber of light. And that was like a transformational chamber of light. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. So also we was, he took me to like, it appeared to be like we was on some type of ship. It appeared to be like we was on some type of chariot, and we was moving, but we was in the heavens. We was in space, because when I looked out, he told me to look through a door. So I was looking through like the little peephole of the door. And when I was looking through, all I saw was like darkness around. You know, it was kind of like a portal type, okay? And I saw like, you know, like all this black space around. But then at the very end, it was like a little dot at the end of like this tunnel, a portal. And it was like a world, okay? I could see the world when I was looking through the portal. And I saw this rainbow being, okay? It was like a rainbow creature. And I know that represents the new creature, the new body, you know, also even called, you know, the rainbow bodies and stuff. If you gotta look that up, you can see more about the rainbow bodies as that is coming out and being discovered, okay? But he was talking to me, and I was like so excited. So when I saw this other world before me, and I saw the rainbow creature, and I was like, okay, so this is talking about his promise, right? So I'm looking at him, and I'm like, okay, I'm finna go through the portal, y'all. I was like so happy. I was like, okay, I'm finna go through this door. I'm finna go. I ain't going back to the earth. So he was like, no. It was like, it's not time for me to go through the portal yet. So I'm like, are you serious? I'm thinking like, did he really just tell me I can't go through this portal right now? I'm like, you done, you know, caught me up on this chariot. You done showed me a whole nother world. And I'm like, I can't go through yet? What you mean? You know? So he was like, you know, that he was going to come back. You know, he said that he was going to come back and he was going to return back to me. And actually in the dream, he was like, I'm going to come back to you tomorrow. So, you know, my behind. Now, when I done woke up from this dream, I'm sitting up here looking at the time on the clock. I'm like, okay, well, he said tomorrow. So I'm sitting up here counting 24 hours. I'm sitting up here counting 24 hours from the time that I had the dream. So I'm anticipating him coming back in one day, right? So I'm like, man, okay, he coming back. I'm finna go through the portal. Man, the day done came by. I'm like, man, he ain't even come back. So I'm sitting up here like, okay, so what does this dream mean? Then I'm thinking he was coming back to get me. You done caught me up on this ship. And now I got to sit here and come back to the earth. Man, I'm ready to go back, okay? I'm ready to go back to heaven, okay? So he was showing me, you know, this portal. So he was showing me the gateway to heaven. He was showing me, you know, the promised land. Okay. So this is in another dimension, you guys. I know a lot of people stuck on the earth and stuck on going back to, you know, Jerusalem and all of this. But I was caught up in the spiritual realms, and he was showing me a place that was prepared for us in the spiritual realms, okay? But that's where my heart and my mind is at, is this place that's in the higher dimensional realms, okay? That's where my focus is at. That's what I'm anticipating. You know, I know a lot of people anticipating going back to Jerusalem and, you know, going back to the land and stuff. Okay, well, if you guys want to go there, you can, you know, but he was showing me something greater. He was showing me something in the higher dimensions, okay? So I just wanted to bring that up about that, because I was caught up on these wheels of Ezekiel, and I was actually on the throne, and I was talking to Yahshua, and it was such an amazing experience that, you know, from this chariot, you know, we can go through a portal. Okay, so these chariots are, you could go through portals and stuff. You can go to other worlds. It's like a link between the heaven and earth. And sometimes I kind of feel like Nibiru is, you know, what they call like the crossing of the planet and all of this stuff like that. I kind of see it as like a bridgeway to heaven. It's like a gateway. Somehow it represents, like, you know, the crossing over, like you crossing over the Jordan River to the promised land. That's kind of like how I see Nibiru as this ship to cross over into the higher heavens. Because, you know, when you really think about it symbolically, when you think about the orbit of, you know, Nibiru, it's like it comes from heaven to earth in essence. You know, people say it's coming from the Sirius star system. Yes. And, you know, Sirius also represents like the spiritual sun. Yes. So, you know, you got to kind of put 2 and 2 together. If it's on this route, it's coming back or returning back to the earth. It's like it's coming here, gathering the souls, and it's going back out towards heaven. So when you look at it from that perspective, and it's going back towards the spiritual sun, it seems like some type of bridgeway or some type of crossing over. Yes. So the ship is returning, or Yahshua is returning, and it's coming together, you know, those who are ready to go to the higher realm. So you got to look at it in a different way. So maybe this is what's going on. That's why a lot of people waking it up. Nibiru start getting closer, boom, everybody starts to awaken. Come on, it has to be a connection. Yep. People are spiritually awakened, but this Nibiru planet is coming closer to the earth. Come on, you guys. Your spiritual powers are coming back. People talking about telepathy and levitation and angelic beings and being angels once before, all because this planet is coming closer to the earth. So it has to mean something. There has to be a connection with our people with this. So I just hope you guys are prepared to cross over into the promised land. Yes, yes. And receive this spiritual knowledge that is coming forth in these days. Okay? He said that, you know, his sons and daughters was going to have dreams and visions. So yes, that's what's going on. We are coming forth, letting you guys know all of this information that's coming from the higher realms of heaven. Okay? I've been traveling multi-dimensions, you guys. Look, I be everywhere. Okay? So, I think we're going to close this one out, and then we're going to go into another part with Nibiru, because there's going to be a whole lot more that we have to discover, because we didn't even talk about the Cobra Bible. No, we didn't even get into that yet, because I'm sitting up here talking. Okay, so we're gonna get into that. So you guys, I'm so sorry. We're going to get into this on the next one. I don't want this video to be extremely long. Sometimes when you do really, really long videos, people don't listen to the whole thing. So I'm trying to keep it short. So please stay tuned for the next video, and then we're gonna go straight into some more things about Nibiru and the Cobra Bible as well. Yes. Thank you all for listening to us. We love you so much.